I've seen people saying I smashed that pre-order button so hard the moment she was being listed. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 16th to 21st of March 2025, and I believe this is a spring break week over in the United States, right? So maybe this video won't be getting many views. In fact, the past 1 week, the stuff I upload did not get many views. It has to be the holiday week. But I don't care. I'll just keep uploading stuff every week. So here we are with this week's figure news, where we have a moderate amount of new figures, but strangely enough, on Friday, the day I'm recording this, yeah, there is like 1 or 2 new figures on pre-order. Usually Friday is the busiest, but it is the opposite for this week. Anyways, on the third party side, the number of new figures are also on the average side, but we have a lot of Gunner stuff, which I have to censor again, which is pretty sad. So without further ado, let's move on to our first section, Hobby Link Japan for genuine licensed anime figures, PVC figures, and boy, we are starting to see figure prices creeping up slowly again, right? Because the Japanese yen keeps weakening, and I believe the war in Middle East is making things even worse. You know, gasoline prices are going up, and currencies are more volatile at the moment. So we shall begin with the 1x4 skills as usual. The first one is by Frieren Shokugeki no Soma Alice Nakiri Bikini Bunny version, 35,000 yen, releasing this August. Yeah, just a swimsuit and nothing much else. Though I've seen the pearl silver painting done on these figures in person, like recently. They look quite nice, but in the end, I don't feel like these figures are worth 35k because of their simplicity. Nakiri Arena, not Arena. Arena is the other sister, right? The god tongue. You know what? Between her and Arena, I think I still like Arena a bit more, even though her attitude is quite the problem. But the most unfortunate thing about Shokugeki no Soma or Food Wars is like the first 3 seasons were amazing. Even though they cut a lot of corners in the animation part, it felt like watching a PowerPoint slides in some scenes, right? Looks like a very simple static scene where they're just doing a panning or something like that. Really low effort animation coming from JC stuff. But at the same time, I loved this series. Well, until they went into the supernatural stuff by season 5, which was nonsensical, which is a shame because the series and even the manga started off very well. And I heard that the author, she went into labor, right? Yeah, I think she was giving birth. She had to take a break and the manga went to shit, something like that. Yeah. So, should you get Alice Nakiri over here? You know what? I believe her figures are pretty popular, both the previous releases, and for that reason, maybe you shouldn't skip on this one if you really want her. Same thing can be said for Arena and that red hair girl. What's her name again? The number 2 ranking student. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, we have 1x4 skill Yui Kotegawa Muse color version. Same thing, that pearl shiny bikini we saw in the earlier figure. This is by Frieren again. It is mentioned here Union Creative, but they are working with Frieren, right? 36,000 yen, releasing in September. Right. The face on this Yui Kotegawa isn't that nice. When I get a Yui Kotegawa figure, I suppose that I want a figure of her with an embarrassed or angry face, something like that, because she's a hardcore tsundere. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. Among the 3 1x4 skills this week, I think this is the most interesting one. The 2 freaking bikini bunnies are boring. Not bunnies, bikini girls are boring. So this is by Kawa Design, 1x4 skill, bunny velvet illustration by Faimui. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Deluxe edition, 13,600 yen with a wall scroll. The standard version is 10,800 yen. Right, so with this bunny over here, it is just a bunny girl, but you know, the details are kind of a tier or 2 higher than average. You look at the shading on her bunny suit. on her hair that is premium figure level painting. And I believe I have reviewed one single 1x4 scale figure by Kawaii Design, which is also low budget. You know, it was a bit of a hit and miss. There are good things and bad things about it. Quality control could be better, but at this price point, yeah, still not a bad purchase at all. So if you want her, go ahead and pre-order it. And yes, we have fireworks going off in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear it because it is also a holiday week this weekend over here. Moving on to the next one, we are now into 1x6 scale territory. 1x6 Idol Master Shiny Colors Amana Osaki Guardian. Okay, whatever, I'm not reading that. I'm guaranteed to mispronounce it. This is by Union Creative, 30,000 yen December release. You see, it was just a couple of years ago, Union Creative figures were fairly affordable, and even their figures today easily go into the high 20,000s or 30,000 and more than that because, yeah, we all know what's going on around the world in terms of geopolitics. So, this is a figure that I've seen a few times in One Fest and so on. Looks nice, and 30,000 yen, I wouldn't say it is overpriced. Expensive, yes, but not into overpriced territory yet because we're getting that nice base and also a pair of wings. You know, whenever you see a pair of wings on an anime or game character, you know that the figures are going to be expensive. Unless they cut corners somewhere, usually in the paintwork, less shading, then they can push the price down to like 25,000 yen or less. Union Creative has an albedo figure that is fairly cheap, around 25k I think. But yeah, the shading work isn't as good as some of the other more expensive figures. So this is between a balance of details in the sculpt and details in the paintwork, how many parts you're dealing with when you're casting the figure. So this one, I think it is still a good purchase for Idol Master fans. But once again, Union Creative, you guys know about my opinions of this brand, hit or miss, right? If you're lucky, the figure that you really want, they do a good job. Otherwise, they might mess up somewhere in the paint once in a while. Yeah. Moving on to the next 1x6 scale, also Union Creative, almost 35,000 yen, Azur Scalar heavy equipment version. April release next year, a 1-year wait. Finally, a proper Azur figure. And the reason why I'm saying this is that we are actually getting ship parts behind her. Every single Azur figure, I wonder if it is every single one of them, but most Azur figures that came out or went on pre-order in the last year, they are just, fan service figures with minimal clothing or big melons on their chest, but no ship parts. Maybe except for the altar ones, but 95% of the Azur figures don't have ship parts on them. Yes, it is expensive, and I think the figure companies might have thought about doing so, but if the price went up too high, nobody's gonna buy it. That might be the main reason. I believe I mentioned this before, where figure companies, how they decide whether to do 1x6 or 1x7, and also the detail levels and what artwork they choose to adapt into a figure. It is all based on a specific price point they are targeting, right? Just like Alter, they do male characters at 1x8 and female characters at 1x7 because they do not want those figures to exceed 30,000 yen usually. And that is often the case for FGO. I know that there are a couple of exceptions, but most of the time Alter does that because they want to control the price of their figure. And here we do have a cheaper version without the ship parts, Scalar light equipment version, still not cheap, almost 28,000 yen December release. It is a shame because if it was a better brand doing this pair of figures, I do think it is a worthwhile purchase, but Union Creative is a bit of a gamble over here. Moving on to the next one, 1x6 interesting. Fat Company Unicorn Overlord Rosalind, 24,364 yen, February release next year. I feel like I like this version of Rosalind more than the Kotobukiya one. And for the Koto one, you need to get the Koto Online exclusive with the extra faceplate, which is really a pain in the butt to hunt for that one. And Fat Company is giving us a 1x6. Interesting. Normally, they do 1/7, right, for FGO, for Uma Musume. I wonder what made them decide to go with 1/6 for this one. Interestingly as well, 24364 yen, the same exact number, right? If you check out 1/7 scale Uma Musume figures by Fat Company, it is also this same exact number for the pricing. 24364 before taxes, or around 27,800 yen after taxes in Japan. So once again, my theory about aiming for specific price points when they put a figure on sale. So maybe the licensing cost for this character from this series is lower, so they make the figure bigger and they sell the same price as the Uma Musume ones, 24364 yen. I like this one a lot. And man, that black backside is fabulous, but I had to cover it up on YouTube. Should you get one? I'm going to say yes, right? If you like her, pre-order it. This is not the ultra detailed character design, so less likely for Fat Company to mess up the paintwork, though I'm a bit concerned about the gold color outline along her coat. Yeah. Fat Company has a history of messing up gold paint as well. And no, not the melting gold paint you saw in some price figures. The gold paint that Fat Company messes up is usually paint bleeding. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. This is a low budget figure from a Chinese brand called Howling Star. And you might have never heard of this brand before, but they have already released like 2 or 3 figures out there. The best one I remember is this CC Chalco Soma or something. Yeah, I saw the figure in stock in a local figure store. That's why I remembered that one. And that figure was amazing, but that was a more expensive figure. I believe it is around 20,000 yen at 1/6. This is 1/6 Diablos Core Midnight Cool and Sweet version. Midnight Cool and Sweet version. What is the character's name, man? Alright, 12,000 yen only, including that office chair. Very nice. December release. Go and get one, right? And depending on which picture you are scrolling through over here, yeah, I'm going to see some white color stuff between her legs that is actually ice cream, which she spills all over the place. But this is a Guna game, so we can expect a lot of fan service stuff. Go and get one. This is nice, right? Only 12k. Up next over here, 1/6 scale Hatsune Barney Girl version limited edition illustration by Gugudo by Kaitendo, 27,000 yen, including a wall scroll, December release, and there is standard 22,500 yen. Kaitendo is a brand you will want to be careful of, but I doubt that Gugudo fans will care. They would smash the pre-order button anyway. So Kaitendo makes both resin figures and PVC figures. This one is a PVC, I double checked a few days ago. So that is a good news at least. And have I purchased a Kaitendo figure before? The answer is yes, but that was like 8 or 10 years ago. Back in the mid-2010s, I bought an edgy figure by Kaitendo. It was a resin figure. It was really nice. And I bought that one simply because of the review I saw in a figure website somewhere, and I liked the character, but I broke that figure because I wasn't careful with it. I dropped it. Yeah, the leg shattered, right? And I did not feel that bad about it because I paid a bargain bin price for that Kaitendo figure. Anyways, Kaitendo, some of their figures are on the lower detail side of things, right? It is like they show you guys this is what their figure looks like in these official pictures. And then the actual product is a bit less refined, less detailed. You know, reminds me of Furyu and Phoenix scale figures, a similar feel over there. So I'm not sure how to advise on this one. Personally, I have doubts about this brand, but I can see this one selling really well regardless. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, what do we have over here? This is interesting, right? This is by a brand, Charm, and Charm makes 18 plus anime figures. So we have 1/6 scale Xion Elfin Chinese dress version, standard edition, 28k December release. Standard edition is already 28. I wonder how expensive the DX version is going to be. And there is no DX version on HLJ because presumably that is the version where you get to cast it off. This one you can't cast it off, right? Some Japanese edgy figure brands, they are doing 2 versions of the same figure. Daiki Kogyo is known for that. one version you can cast off, the other version you can't cast off because the safe forward version is mostly aimed at the Chinese market where, the Chinese government no longer allows 18 plus figures to be sold to the citizens at least. Of course, there are loopholes in the law that you can get around that, but the Japanese are known to play by the law most of the time. Yeah. So, where is the DX version? I couldn't find it on AmiAmi. Yes, maybe next week. And by that, I mean this coming week. Maybe this coming week, you'll see it on other websites, the customable version. And Xion Elfin, this character, I've seen low budget figures of her as well in One Fest by Chinese brands. So if you're going to pay 28k for this character, wait for the cast-off version, obviously, just to get more value for your money, right? Moving on to the next one here, this is probably the main highlight of this week. And I've seen people saying, I smashed that pre-order button so hard the moment she was being listed. Yeah, Frieren is incredibly popular. So here we have Design Coco 1x7 skill in collaboration with Madhouse, Frieren Beyond Journeys, and Frieren and Himmel Art Novia style. 57,000 yen for 2 figures over here, releasing in May 2027. And you can get either one separately for 28,500 yen each. So if you get them separately, it is a bit more expensive. Yeah. And even though I am not the type to collect male characters, this is a figure where you need to get both because they come as a set. 57k, do you think it is worth it? I think the price is okay, right? 57k, if you divide by 2, that would be 20. Oh, the price is actually the same. 28,500 yen multiplied by 2 is 57k. You're not getting any discount. Alright? So, this is not my kind of Frieren figure, right? Even if you give it to me for free, I will review it and then I would sell it. Not my kind of Frieren figure, but very nice in terms of, as a statue. It feels like looking at the sculpture at the statue, right? And the shading on the flower is really nice. The color gradient on the blue. I only wish that, oh yeah, her eyes are open. I was about to say, I wish that her eyes are open instead of closed. Her eyes are open. Okay, she just looks sleepy. Anyways, I don't think this is a good pre-order. If you want her, pre-order it early. Design Coco is a great scale figure brand. But next up over here, we have 2 blue archive figures. The first one is Sakurako Pop Idol version by Good Smile, 20,000 yen. April release. And it looks like they are recycling the same base used in my Melusine figure, which I just reviewed 3 days ago. Yeah, it is like the same block of acrylic, but they inject a different color into the material. Probably that it is a smart way to cut cost, yet giving us a nice base, right? This is a nicer base than a plain white plastic disc or a black one for the matter. 20k, is it worth it? Yeah, I think this is a good buy. Color gradients is obvious. We have some shading, not heavy, but it is there. And oh, this is a nice photograph. I know, it is more of a photographer thing rather than a figure looking this good in person. Yeah, these are really nice photos for sure. And a good pre-order. Moving on to the next blue archive figure by Max Factory with Kayoko dress version, 17,000 yen, April release. And this Kayoko figure comes with 2 faceplates. This is more of a poker face. And the other one where you can see her smiling. Yep, this poker face over here. And there is a smiling version, which I think looks a little bit nicer. Yep, this one. This looks attractive for some reason. And what is funny about Kayoko is that the sheer number of bootleg figures in Chinese websites, Taobao, AliExpress, go and have a look. The sheer number of bootleg figures of her are insane. A lot of them. And I can't exactly call those figures bootlegs either because a genuine version does not exist. It is more of a third-party unlicensed PVC figure that is done at a very low budget that the quality is pretty much bootleg figure quality. Yeah, that is what it is. Should you get this one? Yes. Max Factory stuff are really good. Just that, there is also a chance where the price will drop after release. I'm not sure how to predict because Blue Archive stuff are so random. There are those that go up in value and there are also those that get discounted heavily. I mean, Max Factory's Asuma Toki is a curious case to me. A really interesting case where third-party Asuma Toki figures, they sold out so quickly, the value shot up to the moon. Yet when Max Factory released one, she got bargain binned. Yeah. Is it that hole in the knee? Is it really just that? I'm not sure. Right, moving on to the next figure, Kotobukiya is back with their antics when it comes to Kotobukiya online exclusives. We have 1x7 scale Francesca Prelati from Fate Strange Fate, 23,000 yen, September release. So here you go, a figure brand known for their lower prices. They are now asking for 20,000+ yen regularly. Prices are creeping up in Japanese yen at least. And this figure, unfortunately, you will want to look for the Koto online exclusive version. I am putting the picture on screen right now. You're getting that extra faceplate. And for this specific character, I would say that I am fine without this specific faceplate. Just that I have a FOMO problem. If I get the figure, I want to make sure I get all of the parts, right? If they were to convince me to go for the exclusive version, then this is not the faceplate I want. I want one of her funnier or wacky faceplates we saw in the anime adaptation. Yeah, all her weird reactions. I think if they gave us those, I would jump on this figure immediately. So at the moment, even though as a Fate series fan, I'm not sure yet if I will get this, if I will pre-order it. I'm just not sure yet. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here, we have Golden Head plus 1x7 scale Fighting Girls Collection, the King of Fighters 15, Mai Shiranui, 22,000 yen, releasing this December. And this is another figure where you will want to get it from AmiAmi, the limited version here, which is like, yeah, an additional 300 yen after a discount. You're getting that wing faceplate over there, the one you're seeing on screen, right? So, AmiAmi exclusive, it is what it is. I don't like it, but some brands love doing this, yeah. And Kotobukiya is not any better with their Koto online exclusives. So Mai Shiranui, you just pick your poison. So many different figures of her in different art styles. Pick your favorite. Golden Head Blast is also a solid brand that I can recommend easily. No problems with their scale figures. Up next, Kotobukiya again. 1x7 scale SNK, the King of Fighters 15. Yuri Sakazaki Bishoujo statue. 18,000 yen, September release. Oh, 18k, nice. So this one is, it is still under 20k after all. She does remind me of Sakura from Street Fighter a bit. Similar character design. I'm not going to touch these characters from fighting games like arcade games. If I were to do so, you guys already know my two favorite characters, and those are likely the only ones I would ever buy. Both are from Street Fighter, Kami and Juri-Han. And the last figure here on HLJ for this week, Pop-Up Parade Nagisa Furukawa L size from Clarinet, 8,000 yen, September release. Any one of you who is a relatively new anime fan, you have been watching anime for the past 2 or 3 years only, or even 5 years. Have you watched Clarinet? It is a classic. And prepare tissues, right? Prepare a huge box of tissues. Not for gooning, but for wiping off tears from your eyes. This is a sad anime, yeah. Right, moving on to AmiAmi for some exclusive items. Before I proceed, if you are enjoying this video so far, please do give it a like and subscribe to this channel as a way of supporting this channel. So, the first one here, which is an AmiAmi exclusive Gurudo Art again, Eve Body Harness Renewal version. I wasn't expecting this figure to be re-released because most ecchi figure brands, they don't really re-release their stuff that often, if at all. Pink Jump is choosing to do so because the money is too good to not do that, right? This is one of the best selling Gurudo figures, one of the most popular ones that came out, I don't remember when, but it was a while ago. value shot up like crazy. You are looking at 40,000-50,000 yen at the bare minimum in the aftermarket. And part of the reason why she is so high in demand is because this is one of the few remaining Eve figures that is customable, right? The newer ones are no longer customable. So Pink Charm is choosing to re-release this because, yeah, she's going to print money. So rather than having the scalpers profit from it, yeah, take the profit for yourself by re-releasing it. So 28,000 yen, big yes. If you want her, pre-order it early, like right now. If you haven't pre-ordered her and you're watching this video, after you are done with this video, go and smash that pre-order button immediately, right? You do not want to miss out on this one. And for user pictures, can go to MFC. This is a great figure, so no real issues in QC. Moving on to the next one, another AmiAmi exclusive, Vortex Originals Dark Elf Village 18th Villager Hazel. 1/6 scale, almost 40,000 yen, June release, this June, in 3 months, 2 months time. And interestingly, I have gone through every picture. I'm not gonna scroll it right now, right, on screen because her backside is too nice, right? AI is gonna detect it and have problems with it. So I've went through all of the pictures and I could not find a single picture of her being cast off. So far, every Vortex L figure you can cast off the top, not the bottom, but the top portion. I couldn't find any cast off pictures for this one, but you still need to get it. If you have been collecting this series of L figures for a long time, you still need to get it because this series of figures are amazing. Like, Vortex is a brand I regard as S tier, upper A tier or S tier. Their QC is excellent. Their detail level in the paintwork is amazing, and every single L figures they have released so far, they are pretty much loved by the collectors. Yeah. So this one, you are getting the grass base, the exclusive version grass base, and this extra blush face plate over here if you get the DX version, which is a no-brainer. Do not get the standard version, right? It is not worth it. And the prices have certainly went up by 25%. The first few L figures, the DX version was close to 30,000 yen. Now it is creeping into the 40,000 yen mark. Moving on to the next one. Oh, there we go. The standard version is 34k almost. Not really worth it. Up next. Wow. It is so interesting that because you couldn't see, the nyan nyan down there and also the pink dot on the chest, this is technically not an 18 plus figure based on definitions in Japan, right? So this is not 18 plus to them, even though the pose and the setup is very 18 plus in my opinion. And at the time of filming this video, I have not watched season 2 of this anime yet. Reincarnated as 7th Prince, I finished season 1, but I haven't touched S2 yet. So I did not know that something like this happened in the anime, maybe in season 2, right? A pair of hands grabbing Silpha in such a manner. And now that I see this figure, right, I feel like I need to go and watch the season 2 immediately to see what happened. This has to be a reference from the anime. So this is also the AmiAmi exclusive version, 23,400 yen with a bonus item. The standard version is around 21k if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I like this a lot. Hakoiri Musume. This brand makes both normal and 18 plus figures. And their prices tend to be quite reasonable. They have these rental girlfriend Chizuru figures with a huge bathroom set for like 25,000 yen. I've mentioned this like 69 times already, but I remember this brand for that specific figure, right? So this one, other than the obvious ones, which is the melons on the chest, my favorite part about this figure is actually the face. I find it really seductive and attractive at the same time. So, yeah, I'm giving this one a hard look, but I'm not sure yet. if I were to get this, I need to import it from China. I couldn't import this from Japan. Yeah, the customs are gonna have a problem with it. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this week AmiAmi has pushed up a few old pre-orders onto the front page. I'm not covering those, and this is one of them. And interestingly, this Bronya figure, are they having additional empty pre-order slots? Which is weird because as far as I know, this figure is so popular that there are many websites out there which have already closed the pre-order for this figure because, you know, their pre-order slots are full. Here we have AmiAmi pushing one up on the front page, maybe because there are vacancies, which is interesting. The most likely scenario is that someone cancelled their pre-orders. Yeah. So let's move on to the next one over here. Okay, this figure, I just covered her last week on OSGK. So she is showing up on AmiAmi after all. Molly Succubus Possession 1/6 skill by Art Copy, 26,000 gain, May 2027 release. Just an original character. Next up, we have two figures from We Art Doing. This is a resin figure. Medusa Girl Green Viper illustrated by Yoshioka. 35k, 35k. Wow, that is very expensive for a figure that does not seem to be that big in size or dimensions. Yeah, resin figure stuff, I suppose. Resin is an expensive material. What is the height? The height. The maximum purchase quantity for this item is only one per account or shipping address. There we go. They are quite limited after all. What is the height, man? Oh, 24 cm. This is 1/7, I think. 24 cm including the snakes, right? And that is a short girl. This should be close to 1/7, not even 1/6. And there is, yep, a red and pink version over here. I think green color is more normal for Medusa or for snakes, a more normal color. Pink is a bit weird. And up next, the next four figures on AmiAmi are from their matured content section. So the first one here is just a black bikini, nothing special. And there are no cast off pictures when I went through all of them earlier. It is like, you know, her bikini bottom is almost translucent or shaped in a way where you can see the nyan nyan down there, but nothing special. Yet, she is going for 26,000 yen by Pure. Swimsuit Sugata no Mimi-san illustrated by Ruri Amane, 1/6 skill, releasing in May 2027. Not a really good purchase in my opinion. Very expensive. Next up, okay, Ban original character Dual Nero, 1/6 skill by Rocket Boy. Great figure brand. Almost 30,000 yen September release. So with this figure, you're getting both a Nyan Nyan and a huge cannon, depending on whether you like your traps or not. Yes, she has a big cannon down there as an optional swappable part, but because of the censorship, even on official pictures over here, I can't really tell if she is wearing a prosthetic or that is actually, you know, a raw cannon. I'm not sure. However, my favorite part about this figure is the mask. Yeah, the mask face looks really nice. And 30k for this figure at 1/6 with all of the optional parts is actually reasonable. Moving on to the next one here, Yusuke original character Ushi-chan. 1/6 skill by Hot Venus, 33,000 yen, yup, castable, and releasing in December 2026. Now, this character is not something I'm able to appreciate, even more so at this price point, because, you know, having a pair of scarves, as I call it, covering the opai is so common nowadays. And a lot of low budget figures are having this kind of outfit design. So I don't feel like 33k is a good price to pay for something like this. Granted, Hot Venus is like a super premium edgy figure brand that is at the same level as Native and Rocket Boy earlier. And the last figure on AmiAmi over here, oh yes! Homete no Pose, illustrated by Komugi, 1/6 skill, 26,230 yen by Pure, releasing in May 2027. Yep, Lolly and Hadaka, and also making green tea, I think, and a few other accessories. Perhaps I should get one for my personal enjoyment. I couldn't review it on the internet at all. Maybe except YouTube. Not maybe except Twitter, not YouTube. I would get banned on YouTube for reviewing this over here. Normally for figures like this, right? I don't like full hadaka. I prefer like partial undressing. That would be a lot more attractive. Full hadaka is just bare skin, not very detailed in my opinion, but I still want one. Moving on to our last stop for genuine figures, Ninin game. Yep, be full inside Fort Japan. 4 figures this week. The first one, Sayonji-san at the squad toilet, 1/6 scale, 22k releasing this October. Next one here, Toilet Kano-san, 24k releasing this September. And the next two are the same figures, but this save forward version by Fort Japan. Idol Handshake event. Yeah, I know a lot of anime adaptations where the idol will proceed to get anti-art by the manager or something, even though she already has a boyfriend. One of those kinds, right? 22,000 yen. We know Yuzuki 1/6 skill releasing in October, and here is a Hadaka version. A fan service idol handshake event. 22k as well, October release, and that would be all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now let's move on to third-party resin figures on OSGK. As usual, if you purchase or pre-order stuff from Hobby Link Japan or OSGK, please to make use of my links down in the description below to enter these websites and buy stuff, and that is how to support this channel. For every purchase or pre-order you make, I earn a small commission while pay the same amount of money. You're not paying a single cent in extra, so that is how to support content creators. Right, so moving on to our first section here, this is a very nice Anya figure. Our first section is Anyas in general and chibi figures. 2 Anyas this week. The first one is by a brand that I personally regard as the best third-party Anya figure brand, ZH Studio. Cosplaying as Naruto Kakuzu. Alright, $147 each, black hair version or pink hair version. You know, ZH Studio is really good at making me feel indecisive. Struggle to choose between the black or the pink hair version. Like every Anya figure they come up with, right? I feel like both versions look really good regardless of which hair color. Yeah. $147 is okay. This is like 3 or 4 figures together. 3 or 4 chibi figures. Nice base too. Both are great, man. I couldn't decide which is better. Right, next Anya figure over here by Waku Waku Studio. Also one of the better brands to buy Anya figures from. This is Anya Forger Hello Kitty. Why is it whole kitty? Is that a misspelling or is that on purpose? I'm not sure. Sometimes they misspell on purpose because of trademark issues. $103 releasing in September. This is a pretty ordinary Anya figure na, completely outclassed by the one earlier from ZH Studio. Up next, life-sized waifu section. 2 of them this week. The first one is Phoebe from Wuthering Waves by Bezelia. Very nice. $2,800 for the DX version. No release date yet, but I would imagine by June you'll get it, right? These things don't really take long because underneath the outfit, you're just getting a Hadaka life-sized doll. The only thing that is truly different, like they need more effort to get it right, is the face, right? Yeah, this is like a very pretty cosplayer cosplaying as Phoebe, but this is a good one. Very nice. Right, moving on to the second one here, just a plain original character by Bezelia. Jang Si-yun, $4,060. That's the deluxe version. So, yeah. Why is this another $1,000 more expensive than Phoebe earlier? I can only speculate. The inner frame, right? All these 1x1 scale dolls, they have all kinds of different inner frames. Some are more expensive than the others. And the second one, the obvious one, is the silicone material used for the skin. If they are going for polyurethane, that could be really expensive, more expensive than silicone. The problem with silicone is that they can crack easily, right? When there's moisture or even from a fingernail, it is already a big problem. Polyurethane is slightly more durable, but you still need to take care of them. Yeah. Up next over here is the original characters section. I believe we have 3 or 4 figures here. The first one is XC Studio Falling Fire Spirit Dance Ahri. For a second, I thought this was a League of Legends character, but apparently this is original artist design. And XC Studio is a new studio. September release. Deluxe edition $496 at 1x6 watt. Standard is $312. Why is this so pricey? I'm not sure how this is worth 500 bucks. This is probably the most overpriced figure this week. Yeah, I have no clue why this is $500. Let me have a look at the bottom. Color blocks plus exclusive nameplate for the DX version. A material. Oh, I see. That's the answer right there. Polymer stone and polyurethane. This is not resin figure. It is a polystone figure. So polystone is even more expensive than resin, right? And there are a few like really high-end premium Japanese statue brands that exclusively use polystone. Okay, that explains. I still couldn't justify it though. Up next, okay, ACY Studio, Yan Ji-yoon, Ching Dai, and Zhi Chen. 2 characters over here. 1x6 scale, $278 each, releasing in March next year. 1x6 scale, original character, kinda overpriced if you ask me. Right? The pose is not that unique either. It is a pretty plain pose overall for both of the figures. This pair of figures could have been made in PVC. It is not benefiting from the qualities of a resin material when you make it in resin, right? So this could have been made in PVC and costing a fraction of the price, but why? Why this in resin? I'm not sure. Because ACY Studio, oh wait, does ACY Studio have a PVC figure branch? They do, right? I think they do. Under a different name. What was the name again? They do have a PVC figure branch. I think this figure should have went to that branch instead. I couldn't remember the name of the brand right now. But they have a PVC figure branch that does low budget 1x4 scale figures. Right, up next over here, Jomatal Studio. It is a licensed figure brand, but they tend to make figures from Chinese games, Chinese manhua, and this is one of those kind of things. Renegade Immortal Li Muwan, 1x6 scale, no price yet, and no release date as well. This is an early bird pre-order. Yeah, a very Chinese character. Has to be from a Chinese manhua or RPG game. Not many pictures either. We have 3 pictures over here. No comment. Right, moving up next, we are now in anime characters section. Maoni Studio, Ai Haibara from Detective Conan, $110, releasing in, no release date yet. Okay, the details on the hair is a bit lacking, but no classic anime character. They are not very detailed to begin with, so I can give this a pass. Base is also substantial. For some reason, I feel like I'm looking at a birthday cake with Ai Haibara statue on top as a decoration. For some reason, I mean, imagine if this base was taller. Then it is starting to look a bit like a birthday cake to me for some reason. $110 is reasonable. Up next, XD Studio give me a peace sign Videl from Dragon Ball. $169 at 1x6 scale, releasing this December. You see, I don't watch Dragon Ball, so I did not even know that this character existed. I don't recall seeing this character being made into a figure before this, like before today. I actually like the base, right? It is a creative base, but 167 is on the expensive side. Moving on to the next one, Black Studio, Charlotte Panma, and Charlotte Melisse from One Piece. $197 each, I think. Oh, this is okay. Melisse is 157, Pana 197. Let's have a look. Because of her huge paws, I think that's why she's more expensive. This is a shorter figure. At least it is not another Boa Hancock or Nico Robin figure, I suppose. Something different for once. Moving on to the next one here, Wu Shi-san Studio R3 from R3 My Dear Moments. I find it really interesting that third parties are going for this character. The anime ad, was it last year? Yeah, last year I think. I have not watched it yet. And Aniplex, a few other brands made PVC figures of her, but to see at least 3 or 4 third-party resins of her by now, I have to wonder why. Like, is she actually popular? I have no clue. I would have expected these third parties to make Hadaka versions of her just to differentiate from genuine brands, but they did not do that either. So, what's the story behind this character? I'm kind of curious. Okay, $128 only with the smart face. This is certainly something different. No release date yet. $128 is reasonable for something like this. Simple figure. No options to swap out her face. This is all you get, but this is a good face expression. I'm okay with that. What is the height at 1.6 scale? Even the height is not mentioned over here. Can't be that tall. Moving on to the next one, Newborn Studio Fern from Frieren Beyond's Journey and $384 at 1x4. December release and no cast off. I'm sorry. Bad news. This is all you get. And someone did comment that at this rate, the number of Gunnar Fern figures highly outnumber the normal ones by genuine figure brands. And my reaction was like, duh. There are not that many scale figures of her from genuine brands. There are at least 5 or 6, I think, right? Design Coco has one, Good Smile has one, QSQ has one. Who else? Maybe there are 5 or 6 scale figures of her, not including price figures, of course. And if you compare it to the sheer number of third parties of Fern figures where they tried their very best to undress her or to put her in as little clothes as possible, I think the number of Gunnar figures of Fern is highly outnumbering the genuine ones. That's for sure. December release. So this is a realistic face version, but for once, I feel like this is a really good conversion from the anime design. Even if you did not tell me that this character is representing Fern, I can kind of tell that this looks like Fern. So this is a good conversion from 2D to 3D in a way, right? Up next, this is a very nice figure of Reze. I think it is mostly down to her face, right? This is by Mochi Studio, Reze made costume from Chainsaw Man. 1x4 scale is only $279. 1x6 scale is $175. Both are reasonable. So you see that ACY Studio original character earlier, $278 at 1x6. Here we're getting 1x4, $279. That's why I said the one earlier is too expensive. And the release date is September. Okay. Oh, the face is really good. I think this is something you should get in 1x4 and forget about 1x6, even though you may not necessarily collect 1x4 figures, because the footprint and the height of the figure is going to be pretty manageable when she's kneeling like this, right? Yeah, the height is maybe like 30 plus cm in this kneeling position, maybe less than that, right? Let me have a look. 1x4, 31 cm, there we go. So the size is quite manageable over here. Moving on to the next one, we have 2 figures of SDEF from Akame ga Kill, and I have to wonder if this is coincidence or there is a relationship or connection between this Imagination Studio and another brand later, or is this the classic espionage industry espionage where people spy into other companies and see what they are doing and then copy them. The first one here is by Imagination Studio, $292 for everything you're seeing. That throne and that dude in front licking her feet. I think the price is reasonable considering what we're getting over here, and release date is September. Now this SDEF, the face is really good. Like, it is accurate compared to what we see in anime or even the manga. So I do like this one a lot. The only thing I did not like is that they went a bit overboard with the fan service part. And I feel like I would prefer if Imagination Studio made SDEF wear her uniform, the military uniform, but then maybe make her uniform unbuttoned so that you see some cleavage, some opie leaking out because it is big. I think I would prefer that, right? So this one is just like they are making her wear an outfit we see in edgy figures just for the sake of it, yet we couldn't cast it off. But that is about the only complaints I have with this one. Everything else looks great. And the second SDEF figure over here, at least based on this official illustration or photo, I'm not sure if I'm looking at an illustration or a photo over here. The face looks fantastic as well, but is this like a 2D style painted figure? I'm not sure. Is this CGI? Or is this an actual figure? I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. It almost looks like a solid object to me, a 3D, a real object to me when I look at the hair. But that is what CGI does very well. But there is also a possibility where this is the 2D style painting we saw Belfine did with their BNHA figures. I'm not even sure anymore. I also like this one a lot, but I'm not sure if I can trust it. Right, so this one is by Dreammate Studio. $553 at 1x4 September release. If I were to take this as at face value, if I were to assume this is the statue we're getting and this is what it looks like, $500+ for this is really good, right? And this could be a worthwhile purchase, just that I don't trust what I'm looking at. That's the problem. So let's have a look at Dreammate Studio. What have they made so far? Because I don't recall seeing this brand at all. There we go. The red flags are there. This is a new studio, a new brand making their first ever figure. So I'm not sure if I can trust it. Right, moving on to the next one here from Yao Meng Studio, we have Kurumi Tokisaki swimsuit from Dead Alive, $193, releasing in September. Right, this is a really good Kurumi figure. So Yao Meng Studio they are decent, right? They have a few figures already out, quite a number of them. There are user pictures out there on the internet, in Reddit, GK groups, in GK's Discord server as well. This is a brand that I would say you can feel at ease and pre-order purchase it if you like it. Just that the problem here is that Kurumi has so many figures from genuine figure brands. Why would you get a third party one? Especially if you can't cast it off, right? But hardcore Kurumi figure fans may want all of her stuff, all of her figures. And in this case, this is a good one. Up next, okay, now we are going into game characters section. Well, Dead Alive is both an anime and a game. Here we have Pokemon Reshiram again by Jui Wanjia Studio or Mocking Studio. $116 releasing in September. These third-party brands, man, they just go out and do gooner stuff with Pokemon. Despite knowing that Nintendo is quite trigger happy with their legal team. For those of you furry lovers, have a look. This is cheap, $116. And the next one here is even better. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you guys much because, she is just eating ice cream. Yes, eating ice cream. Beast Studio is back with another Guna Pokemon figure, Lily, $244 at 1x6 scale, December release. It feels like they have something like this every week. Beast Studio, yeah. Beast Studio is a bit of a hit and miss. Some of them are okay, some not so much. But when they are doing Pokemon characters in this kind of setup, I suppose that it is worth taking a risk pre-ordering it if you really want it. Moving on to the next one from PA Create Studio, we have Rachel from Ninja Gaiden, $445 at 1x4 scale. No release date yet. This looks really nice. Not my thing, but still looks really nice. And yeah, the front and back side are both too perfect for YouTube. sadly enough. It is just the outfit design, right? Where she looks like this. Okay, maybe this is just the third parties doing it this way. I doubt that the actual character in the game looks like this by default. No release date yet, but PA Create Studio is also a bit of a hit and miss. I mean, so I think for every 5 figures they release, 4 of them are fine, and then one of them will have batches with QC issues, something like that. So this is up to you, really. At least this is not a new brand making their first ever figure, and they are keeping us guessing what their past track record is like when there's none of it. This figure brand has some stuff already out, quite a few of them, so you can always check back, right? Okay, this one is nice, and I would say for people who like her, go ahead and pre-order it, right? Moving on to the next one from Solar Studio, we have Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. This is 1x4 scale, standard version 1 is going for 973. What? 1K? What is so special about this thing, man? Really? Almost $1,000 for this. Standard version 2, 973 as well. This looks like a $600 statue max, especially considering the fact that she is unlicensed. This is not a $1,000 figure, 600 maybe. Face is nice though, right? I think it does look like Tifa a bit, a bit. Okay, I couldn't zoom in the picture. This is the closest I can get. From this angle, it looks fine. From the angle on this right picture over here, it feels like her cheeks are a bit puffy. Just a bit. Still looks okay to me. This one is better, right? The version 1 is better. And you can get both for $1,400, I see. I think they are trying to force people to buy both. And if you buy both, $700 each, which is still on the expensive side, but yeah, that is a nasty thing to do, man. Nothing mentioned at the bottom, but I'm going to assume that the deluxe version is both statues. Yeah, it is not mentioned down here. Alright, can't recommend this one to be honest. Right, moving on to the next one, Imagination Studio again. They are doing a version 2.0 of 2B from Nier Automata, $221 at 1/6 scale, releasing this June. Yes, that is very fast, but I think Imagination Studio knew that a figure of 2B will always sell quite well. So they went ahead and started manufacturing the figure, and pre-order opened the figure much later so that you don't have to wait too long to get the figure. This is nice, right? Imagination Studio, I actually reviewed one figure from this brand, but that was like 2 years ago by now. Their stuff are fine, right? If you like it, pre-order it. Just that this one does not offer anything extra over the existing 2B figures by genuine figure brands, and I will always vouch for the ones made by Max Factory and Aniplex, right? You can get those two and forget about this one, but those two are not exactly 1/6 scale. Up next over here, we have 1680 Studio Domina from Overwatch, $310 at 1x4. No release date yet. $310 for everything over here is good price, really. This looks like CGI image to me, and this is probably a picture of the actual statue. I can't really tell anymore. These pictures are so misleading at times, 1680 Studio is a new brand as well, I think. Wait, is it the same brand last week where I complained about how they used AI to mislead people about that velvet figure from Nikkei? Is it the same studio? Wait. Yes, it is. I just remembered. So is this AI too? I don't know, but I am skeptical about this brand at the moment. Moving up next from Echo's studio, we have Columbina from Genshin Impact. There is a removable version, yep, cast off, and non-removable version. Both are the same price at $310 for 1x4 scale. 1x6 scale is going for $221. Okay, reasonable, I suppose. The price is on the lower side because she is barely wearing anything, right? Just ribbons covering her. Face looks pretty good overall. And she's releasing in, okay, no release date again. I really don't like this practice from third parties, but it is fairly common. Not giving us a release date. Up next, Mango Studio Firefly School Uniform from Honkai Star Rail, $157. December release. Yeah, looks pretty meh, pretty mid, isn't it? Face looks okay, get weird at the same time. I'm not sure why. This is for fit enjoyers. Yup. They're emphasizing so much on her feet. But unfortunately, I don't live in the United States, so I'm more of a meters guy instead of a feet guy. Moving on to the next one. Genius B Studio Robin Sings Honkai Star Rail. This is available in 1x7 and 1x4. 1x7 with DLC. Yep, Hadaka. This is customable, by the way. 1x7 with DLC cast off is going for what's the price? $299. Wait, hold on a second. I see. No. 1x7 DLC, you're getting an extra head sculpt with a different faceplate. There is no cast off. The cast off would be version B, I think. Let me double check. Without DLC, $246. Okay, what about version B? Yeah, version B is the Hadaka version without DLC, $195. So if you want the Hadaka version, you need to buy the same figure twice. This was a thing 2 years ago. I bought Imagination Studios Honkai Star Rail Kafka. I ended up with 3 figures of her. The same thing, 3 of them. One with clothes, one without, and so on. Because I wanted the DX version. This was normal in the past, right? So 1x4 scale version B is $315. Version A without DLC, $354. This is going to be a tough choice because they have already released their Firefly, I believe. Their Firefly was really nice. Meanwhile, for this Robin, it does not look like Robin that much, like maybe 50 or 60% similarity to Robin. Yet at the same time, I have a feeling, just by looking at the picture over here, that they designed the character this way on purpose. Think of it like an artist with his or her own art style. You look at High School DxD from season 1 to season 4. The character designs change, right? Because different studios and different artists did the character art. Same thing for To Love Go. Season 1 and Season 3, Darkness onwards, the character designs are very different. Different artists, different art style. So what I'm looking at over here feels like an intentional design change from the artist itself. And this is more of an acquired taste. Some of you will like it, some of you will not. That is perfectly normal. I think it looks really nice. And the problem is that it felt like this artist behind this figure over here did a better job with Firefly. With Goblin, this is going to be more polarizing. But at the same time, if you look at the sample they are showing off over here, the painted sample of the figure, the detail levels are incredible. The amount of shading and detailing that went into her face and also her hair, this is better than most genuine PVC figures out there. Seriously, right? So I can see how some people will prefer this over buying genuine PVC figures, especially for people who appreciate more details even if the price is higher. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, Gunnar figure again. Lemon Studio and YM. Yumeng Studio Spark C from Honkai Star Rail. So she is almost Hadaka but still wearing a bikini bottom. But I had to crop off her bottom half because YouTube will not like it. There are 2 versions over here. One with a clean backside and the other one, there is a spank mark on it. You should get that version, obviously. Face is cute, very nice. $193 each and releasing in September. Yeah, low detail figure, but she's cute, man. Moving on to the next one, Qianben Yinggong Zhao Studio. Amia from Wuthering Waves, $240, releasing in September. Just 2 weeks ago, we got like 3 different figures of her. Here's another one. And this brand has been around for some time. Like, this is a brand I see a lot. Every week, every 2 weeks, I see this figure brand coming up with new stuff, putting them on pre-order. And when you see a brand that you feel like you're seeing a bit more often than usual, then that might be a brand that you can trust. But of course, you need to double check user pictures first. So that is how you differentiate the third-party brands. If that brand is something you've never seen before, be more cautious about it. But if that brand, the name is something you see repeating very often, we keep coming up new stuff, that might be a legit one. Yeah. Moving on to the next one right here, FT Studio Karate Tia from Wuthering Waves with DLC. What is the DLC? $298. Without DLC, $278. Oh yeah, I just remembered. With DLC, you're getting a plushie, but only the first 20 pre-orders will get it. I saw the details at the bottom earlier. So no cast off for this one. Face is really good though. Face is really good. Just that there are so many good third-party Karate Tia figures out there, some already out as well. This is expensive, $300 for this. If it was 1x4, I would have no problems recommending. 1x6 at $300, even with a plushie, is a bit rough. So if you were to ask me, what if I pre-ordered the DX version, yet I am pre-order number 21, so I no longer get the plushie? What do I do? Simple. The remainder amount when you pay up for the figure later on when she comes out, yeah, they'll just deduct the $20 over there, $278 and $298. So the remainder amount during release, you pay a bit less. It is the same thing. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, wow. This is a week of Gunnar figures. This is a good one though. Spider Studio, a new brand. That's the problem right there. New brand. Ichinose Asuna and Kakudate Karin from Blue Archive are wearing lingerie, but obviously customable and also making green tea. This is all I can show. You can always check out OSGK yourself. $221 each at 1x6 scale December release. Price is reasonable and you get to display them Hadaka, so why not? The only problem is that it is a new brand. The prototype looks convincingly nice though. Next up over here, Pure Crush Studio Collectible Bunny Girl Series number 3, Misono Mika from Blue Archive. $317 for the one with DLC. You can cast this one off, by the way. Cast off version, $317. Standard version, $261 at 1x6 scale. Releasing in December. Okay. This looks nice. Just that the paint work and the style they're doing with this figure, it almost looks like a 3D cartoon of some kind. But the shading is so heavy, I love it. Pure Crush Studio is also a brand that I see their names often, so it is a brand that you can keep an eye on. Up next, Ship Girl Studio, also a name that's fairly common when it comes to Azur third-party stuff. And here is another Gunnar figure, except you can't cast this off. And I have lost count how many times I see this pose in third-party figures. There are figures from Wuthering Waves with the same exact pose over here. Golden Leo from Azur, $225 at 1x6 scale. Nice face, releasing this in June, very soon. This is also one of those Azur characters that I don't recall any genuine PVC figures out yet. Just a matter of time, I suppose. And the last figure for this week, Card Game Studio, Prince Eugen from Azur, $292 at 1x4. You can have her in 1x6 at $221. Okay, the 1x4 is better value in this time. Releasing in September. So face looks nice, but is Prince Eugen's melons this big? I don't recall it being this big, but I might be wrong, of course. Yeah, might be one of those cases where they inflate the opie just for the sake of it. Could be the case. Well, Golden Dew earlier is much nicer for obvious reasons, and that would be all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one Will you pre-order early or which one will you get after release? And let me know down in the comments below. And thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a reminder, please to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. Yeah, every week I drop at least a couple of videos every week, sometimes 3 videos. So until then, thanks a lot for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.